Thank you, everyone. We will commence with a video first, if you'd like to look towards the screen. Thank you. The Greater Shepparton Sports Hall of Fame was established to recognise the great achievements that local sports people have made to their chosen sports. So these awards are an opportunity to showcase and celebrate these achievements.
Well, I was born and bred in Shepparton, so I'm a very proud Sheppartonian for almost 60 years. My sport, I got into my sport because of my dad. My dad's also in the Hall of Fame, so we're a little bit unique, father and son to go in at the same time. So the big headline when I went into the Hall of Fame, that's followed me around, was born to race.
Well, I actually started my sport of lawn bowls when I was 10 years old, so quite young to be playing an older person's sport. But I had lots of support. Most of my time was around the senior people and always encouraging, always, pushing me to do more. I just had lots of support the whole way through. I suppose with my journey with lawn bowls, I had most of my success as a junior, like sort of pre-parenthood. I had massive opportunities, overseas all the time, travelling to every state in Australia just to pursue my dreams, and I did get there. I won the world title, and it was something amazing. It was brilliant. So I suppose it has shaped me as a person I am now. Showing my kids what success you can get to if you push yourself.
It's changed my life. It has very much shaped my life, and as much as I've lived most of my life in Shepparton, most of my really good friends are racing people. We travel the country racing cars, meeting new people, and just the excitement of meeting new people and going new places and seeing new things has been a big part of my journey. To
be inducted into the Hall of Fame was amazing achievement. Have to sit one of the top on my radar of things that I've done. It makes you feel recognised for 30 years of lawn bowls I've played. So I've been recognised right from when I was a 10-year-old to till I won the World Championship. So it's a massive achievement, to be up on the wall with other great people and to be recognised is absolutely amazing.
My dad and I had this conversation a number of times. We're both in two other Hall of Fames, the Australian Motorsport Hall of Fame and the Golden Valley Auto Club Hall of Fame. The Golden Valley Auto Club Hall of Fame, we're both as legends. So when we got nominated for this one, we thought, hey, this is pretty cool. But when you get there on the night and you walk in, you go, wow, this is real. And I've said this many times before, this is my favourite Hall of Fame, because the other ones, you've got a bit of a sense of your achievements and the achievements of other people in that Hall of Fame. So you automatically know that eventually you've had more success than other people in there, you're going to go in. This one, to be nominated and put into the Hall of Fame by the town that you grew up and love, is next level. It's as good as winning major races, because it really topped off a career for both me and my dad.
So for the new inductees that are going in at this next ceremony, I just want to congratulate them on their past achievements and continued achievements if they're still playing their chosen sport. Wish them all the best, and it is a great honour to be put into the Hall of Fame and be recognised with everyone else.
Enjoy your life to the fullest, whether that's your working life, your personal life, your family life, your sporting life. Make sure you can get towards the end, or hopefully the middle, like I am, and look back and go, yeah, I did it right. We had some great times, we had some fun.
So on behalf of the Greater Shepparton Sports Hall of Fame Advisory Committee, we congratulate all the nominees and commend them on their achievements. Good evening, everyone. It is certainly my pleasure, as Chair of the Greater Shepparton Sports Hall of Fame Advisory Committee, to welcome you here all tonight for this very special occasion. To begin with, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners. We, Greater Shepparton City Council, acknowledge the Order peoples of the land which now comprises Greater Shepparton. We pay our respects to their tribal elders, we celebrate their continuing culture, and we acknowledge the memory of their ancestors. I'd certainly also like to pay tribute to some of the dignitaries who have joined us here tonight. The Mayor of City of Greater Shepparton, Councillor Shane Sarley, thank you very much for joining us. Councillors Sam Spinks, Jeff Akers and Fern Summer, thank you very much for joining us as well. We have other parliamentarians here as well. Ricky Lee Tyrrell, I think you're here. There you are. Thank you very much. State member for Northern Country, thank you very much for joining us. And Sam Birrell. Now, Sam, you've got to be there somewhere. There you are. Excellent. Sam, you're not here. You weren't nominated this time round, unfortunately, even though Sam did try out, I think, with every football and netball club in the seat of Nichols, and still didn't get a game. But anyway, he tried. And that's what it's about, isn't it, Sam? It's trying. Yep. Greater Shepparton Sports Hall of Fame was created to honour the individuals whose sporting achievements have shaped our region's proud legacy and athletic excellence. Whether they have competed locally, represented Victoria, or worn the green and gold on the international stage, each of our inductees tonight has contributed something remarkable to the story of sport in Greater Shepparton. As Chair, I have the privilege of working with a group of dedicated community members who volunteer their time and energy on the Advisory Committee. Together, we review nominations. Sorry, I just missed that. Together, we review nominations. We look through the region's sporting history, and we also, most importantly, celebrate the people who have earned their place among the city's greats. Every inductee we recognise this evening has shown outstanding commitment, talent and passion. Behind each name is a story of resilience, sacrifice and deep community connection. These are athletes and contributors who have not only succeeded in their respective fields, but they have helped define the character and the spirit of our region. The induction of 11 people tonight will add to the 76 inductions held previously. In total, 35 sports are represented in the Sports Hall of Fame. The residents of Greater Shepparton have been well informed of the additions of the Hall of Fame due to magnificent contribution by the Shepparton News through, once again, the photographs and stories of the inductees. So thank you, Shepparton News, for your promotion for that. Tonight we'll induct 8 men and 3 women into the categories of Hall of Fame, Roll of Honour and Junior Roll of Honour, representing 7 different sports. Shortly, our Master of Ceremonies, Don Kilgour, will explain why they have been selected and then ask each inductee or their representative to come forward and receive their award from the Mayor. We will present the inductees in those 3 groups. On behalf of the Advisory Committee, I would like to thank many people who have made this event possible. Our council staff, the volunteers, the sporting clubs, the local historians, and our valued media partner, McPherson Media Group. Our support helps ensure that these legacies are preserved and celebrated for generations to come. To our 2025 inductees, congratulations. Tonight is a testament to your talent, your perseverance and your lasting impact on Greater Shepparton sporting community. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Mayor for the City of Greater Shepparton, Councillor Shane Sarley.
Thanks, Brof. Deputy Mayor Anthony Brophy, I should probably say. Brof's a good man. Thank you for that warm introduction, Brof, and all the appropriate acknowledgements. It's always pleasing to see many of you here tonight, and I will share why I was a little bit late. But you acknowledged everyone, which was really important, but I also want to extend that acknowledgement to our Director of Community, Louise Mitchell, who's here with us as well, and her team have helped contribute to tonight and do a power of work in supporting these amazing events. But also want to acknowledge the family and friends that are here tonight. No doubt every single person that is recognised tonight and in the previous years that inductees have been recognised, every single person always reflects on the support that their friends and family gave them through this particular achievement that they've been able to get up and receive on behalf not only themselves but family and friends. So before I go any further, I want you to give each and every one of you a round of applause for being here. Now, I was trying to think what would be the most appropriate way to acknowledge Don Kilgour. And some people say, is he our Bruce McAvaney? And I said, well, he hasn't done a lot of commentary lately, but I have him as the greatest sports storyteller in the GV. And you'll know why when he gets up here and explains and gives detail, the amount of effort and time that he puts in to understand the history and share the success with you. You can sort of feel it. I'm so glad I'm speaking before him because I would do it no justice following after Don Kilgour. So it is always great to see the great Don Kilgour here with us tonight. Being back at SAM, they do an amazing job here, and it's always important when we get here, it's always bringing people together, and I think I did see Ricardo around there. The team here do an amazing job. There you are, Ricardo, very good. Your team are an exception, and we are always grateful to be able to host events here, and your catering provides that environment that is worthwhile in coming back, so well done to you as well. Sport in our community. I think everyone is well aware that Greater Shepparton does sport better than anyone else, and we're fortunate to be able to recognise a number of individuals and have so a period of time ago. I was chatting with Bro today, and I thought, oh, when did we last have these award ceremony? I said it was last year or the year before, and he said it was early 22, wasn't it? So I know everything feels like 6 months ago, but I didn't realise it was 3 years ago that we were here last time. Well, we're at Riverlinks recognising some exceptional talent that call our great place home. And I think the beauty of sport is that it brings people together, and not only events like tonight, it's all about team, it's all about that competitive edge that each individual experiences through their specific sport. And I guess in saying that tonight, we not only just recognise people that have played a particular sport, but we are recognising some administrators and volunteers as well. So we know that people have an influence on individuals and a team and a community, not just by pulling on a particular jumper or representing a particular field. It's the volunteers, the people behind the scenes that are all doing the great stuff. That might be my cue to wrap up. On a personal reflection, I'm a massive fan of sport, and I was a little bit late tonight, but Brof was very keen to make sure that I would be here before 6:30. I was coaching my son's under 10 football team tonight, and people often ask me, you've got a busy week, and I say Monday to Friday is so easy, but geez, Saturday sports days are tough at home. It is grueling. I've got 3 very active kids, 2 are playing competitive sport, and I won't lie, and I might get in trouble for saying this, you got to win. You got to aim to win, and I always say if you have fun, that's the bonus. But look, I left it at 3/4 time tonight, so I coached the under 10 United team. We were playing Shep, so you can imagine how competitive it was there tonight, even at an under 9 and under 10 level. But it's good. It brings people together, and I'm so privileged that I get to follow my kids around. And the point around that is that parents are here tonight with some of their kids, and no doubt you'll reflect on the support that they've given you. But there would have been many times that you would have looked across, at the fence, the boundary, wherever it might have been that you were playing sport, and to have your parents' support there would mean so much to you. And I'm sure you'll reflect that in your speech tonight. Council's commitment to these awards is huge, and you have the full support. The committee have worked very well, obviously represented by Brof from a council level, and I mentioned Louise Mitchell and her community team. There's a number of you here tonight, so I won't make the mistake of trying to acknowledge each and every one of you, but it's amazing the work that you put in to help support these particular events and recognise some amazing people. I think when we talk about sport and we think about what's next in our community, you'd all be well aware of the massive investment that we've made into our sports precinct, and we want to continue to be that regional leader, not just in Victoria. People often say we've got the best sports precinct in regional Victoria. I think that's an understatement. I've travelled a little bit around, and Sam Burrell's here, and he can probably echo these comments, that our sports precinct here would be literally the best in regional Australia, and we would push a number of metro cities as well in regards to having everything there in a particular facility. The only one bit that we're missing is the sports stadium, and we're very strongly advocating with the support of our members at state and federal to sort of put the icing on that cake. There's always little things that need to be done, but we are constantly advocating and reinforcing our position as a sporting hub across the country. So tonight is all about the inductees, so thank you for your commitment and coming back home. For those that aren't still living here at this particular time, you've earned your place here in the Hall of Fame, and I want to congratulate each and every one of you. but more so congratulate your family and friends that you've brought along here tonight, because they share a part of the success and the journey that you've been on. Well done to all of you. Congratulations, and enjoy this special moment.
Always following the mayor, always pulling the microphone back down again. That's one of the traits. Mayor Sarley did speak about being competitive and always wanting to win, and fun is just a bonus. Well, we do have a bit of fun at the council boardroom, but we also want to win. So, and we've made some big strides, and this has been a reflection of the fourth induction. And so it's not just the first up, it's not the second up or the third up, this is the fourth lot, which means that there's still people that are achieving out there in our community, and that there'll be Commonwealth Games coming up, and there'll be an Olympic Games coming up, and there'll be an All-Australian selection in the different sports. So we're looking forward to inducting others in years to come. So thank you, Mayor Sarley. I'd certainly now like to introduce our Master of Ceremonies. He's already been highlighted for this evening by Mayor Sarley, and a passionate advocate for our region and Hall of Fame inductee, and really is the consummate voice of the Golden Valley, and has been in me growing up, and still to this day. So we'd like to certainly welcome to the microphone Mr. Don Kilgour, OAM.
Thank you, Councillor Brophy, and the Mayor, for embarrassing me. I thought I was going to embarrass you because I thought you were going to be late, and I was going to say, here's the late Mayor, but he is on time, so thank you very much. I just also want to say a big thank you to Stacey Travaskis and to Dennis Myers for the video. They're both people who greatly appreciated being in the Hall of Fame and joining the amount of people that 87 people have been inducted. But I also want to say a big thank you to the other inductee who is here tonight in Margot Koskalena. Now, Margot's sitting right down there, and without Margot we wouldn't have had a Hall of Fame, because she rang me 10 years ago and said, why don't we have a Hall of Fame? And I said, because nobody's bothered to make one. And when we sat down and worked out what we might do, we said we had to get council behind us, because that was the only way it was going to be a long-standing Hall of Fame, and that's what's happening. And thank you, Margot, for what you did to start off, and it's your fault that we're all here tonight. So, folks, tonight we move into a smaller Hall of Fame than we've had, because over the years we have gone back to, for many years, to look at the people who have represented this area. And can I just say that at the last Hall of Fame, we inducted a trap shooter who won his first trap shoot in Shepparton in 1897. So we went back and went right back into the history. This guy was a world champion, and we found out, we thought he lived outside the Shepparton electorate, at the Shepparton city, but he lived on the other side of the road out at Katandra, and so we were able to put him in the Hall of Fame. So it was special to go back that far, and now we've caught up with all those people, so there's not as many now, and in the next 4 years there'll probably be a similar amount having a function like this. So tonight we move into the Roll of Honour, and when we first started the Hall of Fame, it was for people who, as we thought, were Australian champions, were Olympians, the people who reached the very top. And we did that in the first one in 2017. And then we thought, there's a lot of people in Shepparton who have put so much time and effort into ensuring that sport was successful in the Goulburn Valley that we should include them in the Hall of Fame. And so we instituted the Roll of Honour for those people. And then we thought, there are so many young people doing so well, and we had young sports people overseas winning in world championships. So we also have the Junior Roll of Honour, and tonight we're starting with the Junior Roll of Honour, and we go to the sport of cycling. Now, this man joins a very special group, and we're going to meet one of them a little bit later on, of wonderful people who have been great cyclists for Australia. And Shepparton has seen a number of cyclists perform at the top level, which has enticed young riders to emulate their success. And one such rider is Liam Edwards of Shepparton. And Liam showed his talent as a junior at the Shepparton Cycle Club and progressed to national level. Liam was selected to represent his state as member of the Victorian road cycling team in 2015, and at under-19 level in 2017 he won the Victorian Hill Climb Championship and the Hill Climb time trial. He also won a gold medal in the Victorian Country Road Cycling Championships. Along with others, he was selected to join the Regional Academy of Cycling Excellence for road cycling, and he was awarded the Tim Decker Award as Rider of the Year. As he progressed in the sport, he was selected to ride in the New Zealand Classic as a part of the Victorian team. In 2018, he was second place in the Victorian Road Cycling Championships, as well as winning the Victorian Under-23 title. He moved into senior ranks, but was involved in a car accident in which he lost 3 fingers, and that saw him eligible to ride in the Paralympic Championships, where he's successful in winning the National Road Cycling Championships Paralympic Road Race, Paracycling Road Race. So Liam becomes the 7th cyclist to join the Hall of Fame, to be inducted, and we welcome him into the Hall of Fame, and we'd ask him to come forward, and the Mayor have come forward to present him with a certificate, and then I'll have a talk to Liam up here on the stage. Would you please welcome Liam Edwards as our first inductee tonight. And we'll have a photograph taken by each person as they come up. Just take a couple of seconds. We've got them. Thank you very much. Liam, congratulations. It's interesting for you to shake hands with you and see, yes, you've lost those 3 fingers, all right. And that's what brought you into the Australian title. How did you like riding as a person in that class?
Yeah, it was pretty special. It was actually happened in October, the accident. So the Nationals was the first week of January, so I only had two months to really train. And I remember the week before, week after the accident, I got on the bike, and with the pain meds and that type of thing, I was back to square zero. So it wasn't even at that point, it was, didn't even know if I was going to ride again, really. And then to see I could be eligible for Paras, and to even get myself up for that, it's pretty special.
Right. Well, as you know, you're joining a group of very special cyclists, Olympians, etc. And I'm sure you're very pleased to be inducted and being a part of that.
100%. No, you only need to see the names, and especially when I was coming through my junior ranks, especially Fairless and Lancaster and Egan, like a lot of those guys I looked up to when I was coming through juniors, and it's unreal to have my name next to those guys. It's with the incredible results that they've achieved.
Well, congratulations, and the city honours you for what you have done. Thank you for being here tonight. Mum and Dad are up in Queensland and couldn't be here, and they're sorry, but please take that home and show them, and take one of the programs, and I'm sure you'll enjoy being a part of our Hall of Fame. Liam Edwards, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. We move on now to the sport of netball, and as a young talented sports people making their way through junior sport, there's often an opportunity to be selected in the various sports institutes. This is a situation that Shepparton netballer Harriet Gall has experienced. Harriet rose to prominence as a netballer with the Shepparton Swans, and her talent led her to winning a scholarship to attend the Victorian Institute of Sport. Harriet thrived on the extra coaching and participation in training, and was soon under notice as a star of the future. In 2024, she became a member of the Victorian Under-19 state netball team, and her performance with the state team led her to being selected in the Australian netball squad. Harriet then progressed to play in the Under-21 Australian squad, and this gave her the opportunity in August to be experienced the international netball when the Australian team visited Fiji. Her domestic netball saw her representing the Bendigo Strikers in the Victorian Netball League across the Under-23 and Championship divisions. It's a wonderful achievement to represent your country, and Harriet must be congratulated on her dedication to the many hours of training and travelling to succeed in the sport she loves. Shepparton proudly honours Harriet Gall's performance by inducting her into the Sports Hall of Fame. Harriet, would you please come forward? Right, Harriet, you've been a wonderful netballer and had a lot of fun. and been internationally. How are you feeling about being inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, no, it's a great honour to be here tonight and be inducted alongside some amazing names. It's great to recognise people in the region, so yeah.
Well, you're still young, so there's plenty. What are you hoping to achieve in the future?
Oh, I'd love to play SSN and be a part of that, be a professional netballer. It's definitely a dream, but...
You've had to do a lot of travelling to train and be at these places too. How's that affected you?
Yeah, I think you just learn to have balance and, you know, time management is the key, but no, it's definitely great. I wouldn't, change it.
So what do you see in the future? How long do you think you might be in netball? You hope to play for a long time?
Yeah, it's something I really enjoy and I don't think I could, fill it with anything else. I think I'd always do it for enjoyment and just see what happens.
So you don't think you'll be back playing with the Shepparton Swans again?
No, definitely no. I do enjoy my time at Swans.
Right.
So.
Well, it's wonderful to be able to see what you've achieved and to be able to recognise as the City of Shepparton inducting you into the Hall of Fame, and all the very best for the future. Would you please thank and congratulate Harriet Gore. Thank you, Harriet. The next person is interesting because he's probably going to be the last person that we are going to be able to recognise in two sports at once. The new inductee in the Sports Hall of Fame is Alex Keith, and he's one of the very few athletes in recent years who possessed the capability to juggle the success at two sports at the same time. Alex grew up in Shepparton, where he went to Kyalla Primary School, Goulburn Valley Grammar. He excelled at both cricket and football. Now, everybody knows that over the last 30 years, it's been very hard to excel in both and to succeed in both. However, it was cricket that was his passion, and he found himself at college in Melbourne and playing at elite level with the best juniors in the state as a batting all-rounder. He was selected to represent Australia in the Under-19 World Cup in New Zealand, which Australia won. He was also a member of the Prime Minister's 11 playing cricket in Canberra, and that's the team where the young guys coming up have had a good look at by the Australian selectors. He then moved on to senior cricket with Cricket Victoria, and he made his first class debut in 2010 and played for Victoria over 5 seasons as a member of Victorian cricket team. He also played the Big Bash cricket with the Melbourne Stars. He represented Victoria against the touring England team at the MCG. He then answered the call to play home at the home of cricket in England, where he spent 3 seasons. He was honoured to captain the Melbourne Cricket Club team at the Marylebone Cricket Club at Lords. His best performance was to beat Graham Hick's one-day batting record in England of 246. So what a terrific score that must have been. He moved then to South Australia to play cricket. He became involved in football whilst he was in South Australia, and the Crows had a bit of a look at him and said, well, why don't you come and try out with us? So yes, he did. And he won the showdown medal for the Crows before moving back to Melbourne, where he played 30 games with the Crows and then played 79 games as a regular backman with the Western Bulldogs, including being fullback in the 2021 losing grand final team in Perth during COVID. He won the trophy as the best team man for the Bulldogs that year. He's also been selected as a member of the Team of the Century in Shepparton cricket, and I was very pleased to be there comparing that day to see him come back and receive his award for that. Shepparton can be justly proud that we've produced an athlete that was successful at both cricket and football, and it's a feat not likely to be emulated again because the footballers certainly don't like you playing cricket in the summer, and it's terrific that we've got him here tonight. And I know he's got to get away early because his wife and family are coming back from overseas on an aeroplane tonight, and he's got to meet them about 9. So if he whips away early, we understand. But we would like to ask this gentleman who has succeeded at both sports to come forward, Alex Keith, to meet the Mayor and say hello to us for the world in the sport. Well, Alex, I'm not sure whether you realised how important it is that we have you here tonight, because very few people will do what you've done, and I'm sure you've enjoyed the whole thing.
Yeah, thanks very much, Don, and thanks a lot, Margot, as well, and the City of Greater Shepparton. Amazing initiative to be invited back, and I feel very, very grateful and very humble. I want to just have a little dig at my mum and dad, though, if I may. There's lots of loving mothers and fathers here, and babysitting's quite expensive, as everyone knows, but I think my junior sport was just so that they could get free babysitting. They used to drop me off at any sport they possibly could, and I'd be there for the day. So that's probably slightly unfair.
Right. Well, you won't get tea there tomorrow night, will you? How hard was it to be able to mix those two sports?
It was. You've probably been kind. I started off as a cricketer and had dreams and ambitions of trying to play for Australia, and would have loved to have done so. And was very lucky to play for Victoria and at a professional level, but was never quite good enough. So when I finished, I was lucky enough to still be able to have an opportunity to get back into the AFL system, and then.
Okay. Before we talk about footy, that wonderful match where you beat Graham Hick's record, and you played at Lords and captained the MCC team, and then to break the Graham Hick's record, that must have been special for you.
Yeah, it was. It was a special day. They're a rarity in cricket. You got to go through a few down days, but those special days where it comes together are really enjoyable. So it's one I won't forget. So
then it came back to football. So you were with the Crows and then came back to join the Bulldogs.
Yeah, started at the Crows, and at that point I hadn't played football for 6 years, so it was a slow integration back in. I was treated like I had an injury. Basically, they wouldn't let me go in the main drills, and sort of getting my head back around the game, and very grateful to the Adelaide Football Club for the development that they put into me at that time, and it set me up, and eventually moving back to the Bulldogs was a really strong period for the Bulldogs, and culminating in the grand final that we won't talk about the end result.
That's the way it goes. So now you look back on your life in sport, which part do you think you enjoyed the most?
Yeah, I honestly think back to being a junior, Don, and driving back into town. I don't live locally anymore, unfortunately, but as I said, those days as a kid, whether it be at the cricket club from playing juniors at 7 o'clock in the morning through to the senior match finishing at 6 o'clock, and you just play all day. Just absolutely loved playing sport, and think back to a lot of people that basically brought me up while I was playing sport around this area in the Golden Valley, and very grateful for some of the mentors and people that supported me along the way. The day of the special cricket day that they recognised you too, there was a lot of people who had been dealing with you that had so much to say about the way you acted and the way you represented yourself, so you must have enjoyed it too. Yeah, very special to come back and be part of the Team of the Century celebrations for Cricket Shepparton. Again, amazing initiative for the local area, and I think celebrating these types of things means a lot to people who've put a lot into the local sporting environment, and really enjoyable day. Look, it's wonderful to have you back here in Shepparton, and being able to relive your old times in Shepparton or whatever, but to think that you have succeeded in both those sports when basically no other sports people have been allowed to by their clubs or been able to, and yet Shepparton can boast that we've had somebody that's done that. Congratulations, and all the very best for the future. Thanks. Alex Keith, ladies and gentlemen. One young student who commenced in St Brendan's under-6 soccer is now progressing to play international underage soccer with the Socceroos. James Neuenhuizen has made the most of every opportunity in being selected in underage competitions available to him. After enjoying school soccer, he joined Shepparton Soccer Club, and his talent was soon recognised when selected to join the top regional team. The GV Suns, where he played for 5 years, he made state under-12 team twice. When eligible at the under-13 level, played for the Victorian country team during a soccer tour of Japan. Soccer selectors were again taking notice of James in 2018 when he was
when he was with the Melbourne City Soccer Club and the Youth Academy team. It was a wonderful, enjoyable experience for James, and his soccer skills improved to the extent that he progressed to the senior team and was involved in a league championship. In 2019, his class stood out and he spent 6 months as part of the Socceroos Joey's team for the talented juniors. However, the COVID pandemic shortened his experience. He won selection in the under-20 team in 2022 and 23 whilst at Melbourne City, and then tasted the first international soccer experience as a junior Socceroo, travelling to Spain, Kuwait, Uzbekistan for competition. This was an incredible opportunity, and he returned with strong desire to do everything he could to eventually advance to the Socceroo team. James is studying law and commerce at Monash University. Whilst continuing to train for soccer, he unfortunately suffered a leg injury this year, but he's aiming to play in the World Cup for the future, and we congratulate him on a fantastic junior career and welcoming him into the Sports Hall of Fame. Would you welcome James Nieuwenhuizen? James, you've got a busy time being at university and studying those subjects. How are you fitting it all in?
Oh, I'd be lying if I said I was as diligent with my studies as I am with my sport, but yeah, I just try and get it done when I can, and I'm there for the assessments, that's what I'd say.
Well, as long as you're there for the assessments, that's the main thing. So, do you think that your study is going to help you when you're trying to do the best you can for soccer?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think it just gives you a good release because professional sport and any high-level sport's taxing. You're worried about it all the time, trying to be the best. So having something where you can escape and put your energy elsewhere, I think is a really helpful thing.
So you look back on your soccer in Shepparton, you enjoyed playing as a young fella, you started under 6s, under 8s or something?
Yeah, definitely. I think they're, like Alex said earlier, the best times of your life are as a junior. Just having fun with your mates, kicking ball at school, after school, before school even, and then on the weekends as well. I'd be there all Saturday with school sport and then all Sunday with the Suns. So lived most of my life at McEwen Reserve, really.
So most importantly now, how's that injury affecting you, and when do you look like getting back on the pitch?
Yeah, well, it's a massive setback. I mean, it's one of the worst things that can happen to an athlete, but it's tracking along nicely. 4 months down the track now, back running, back on the pitch, and hopefully aiming to be back this side of the new year, just before it. But that 1st of January date's the goal right now.
So you're now looking forward to getting back going, and then this time, and then next year getting into it to try and say, I guess the future is obviously you've got to be looking forward to the Socceroos if you can do it.
Yeah, obviously, I think that's the highest level you can play is international sport. So that's the goal, and just playing as many games before that to get there would be the first step.
Right. Well, congratulations for what you've achieved so far. All the very best in your studies too, to be able to get it, because you may need that behind you as you go into the future. And we certainly love to think that you've got the Socceroos up there as a goal, and all the very best. And we all here in Shepparton hope that you make it. And congratulations for being in the Sports Hall of Fame. Thanks very much. Thank you, John. Now, this is a little bit different. We've had motorcyclists here before, but I'm really delighted to see this one come through. Motorcycle riders Andrew Cleve and Dave Power have been inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame. They came to prominence riding at the Undira track. We now induct another rider who commenced riding his career at Undira at 12 years of age. Dakota North had immediate success as a junior and showed that he had talent and daring to become a top-class competitor. By the time he was 15, he was competing against Australia's best and took out the Australian Junior Championship along with the Australian Pairs title with Justin Sedgman in 2007. His success propelled him into the world-class ranks, and at the age of 16, he was representing his country in Britain. sounds similar to a guy that's in Formula One at the moment, who left Australia at 16 and then went to Britain. Well, you know, Dakota was able to do that, and he was one of the early people to go at that age and did exceptionally well. It was great learning time for him. He was soon noticed by the British teams, especially in the Under-21 World Championships. He was signed by Mildenhall Fen Tigers, but this season was cut short after chipping 2 vertebrae in a crash while representing Australia at Under-21 level against Great Britain. He returned home to recuperate, but his love for racing saw him return to Britain, and he spent the next 5 years on the European circuit riding as a professional. He rode for teams such as the Elite League's Peterborough Panthers, Premier League's Newcastle Diamonds, whilst competing for Australia and celebrating a podium finish in the World Cup. From then on, he was in demand and travelled around Europe, competing for teams such as Somerset Rebels, the Ipswich Witches, and joined the elite class team, the Kings Lynn Stars, and then shared a double-up position with the Birmingham Brummies, and just continued on with the Glasgow Tigers, as well as competing in Poland, Denmark, and finishing with a winning team. Sometimes coming back to Australia and doing a bit of earthwork movement with his family as well. But unfortunately, his dad was injured in a workplace accident, and he came back to Australia to leave all that behind and what was in front of him to help the family with the earth moving business. He wasn't able to return to motorcycling at top level, but we're delighted to see him inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame as somebody who did so well and then was able to leave it behind and come back and help his family business. Would you please welcome Dakota North as he comes forward? Thank you. Well, Dakota, I guess you're a bit surprised to be up here thinking that your sports fame had passed you by, but now Shepparton's recognising what you've done.
Yeah, mate, it's a long time ago. I don't really think about these days too often at the moment. Work takes place.
Well, you know, riding those sort of bikes around Europe is a bit different than driving bulldozers, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, mate. I don't like the early starts now, but it's all part of what I'm doing now. And yeah, I don't think too much about what I was doing back in the day, but I'm grateful now when we get to reflect on it nights like this.
So now you look back on that time, which as you said is quite a while ago now, what stands out for you as the thing that you enjoyed the most?
Not working.
No, there's an honest man. That's well, yeah, not having to work. But you really enjoyed that as you went around. And you know, I know that you had to go all over Britain and then fly back here and then go back over. And as a young guy, that must have been a bit hard. And I guess you found some pretty interesting places to live while you were doing that.
Yeah, we were living, I don't know, every 2 days we were in a different country, flying around. It was good. I had some of the best mates with me. We did have fun. So yeah, it was good. It was good. I got to see a lot of the world that I would never got to see without riding a bike, so it was good.
Yeah. So did you ever go out the bikes at Undera these days and have a look?
No, I haven't really done much. I haven't gone out to watch much. I haven't gone to many motorsports events now. I'm focused on my golf game.
Focused on your golf game. You got a handicap?
Yeah, it's not real good.
I won't ask you what it is. All right. Look, it's fantastic to have you here, and I know Mum and Dad appreciate what you have done and what you've come back to the family to do. But the City of Shepparton recognises what you have done and congratulate you on how you're helping your family and what you've achieved at world-class level overseas, and you're a great Shepparton representative. Thank you very much. Would you please say thanks to Dakota? Well done.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I want to go back to the sport of soccer because we, as people on the committee of the Hall of Fame, for 10 years have tried to get the soccer people interested in nominating people to come forward, but we just couldn't get it to happen. So eventually we went out and saw a few people, and thankfully we've got these people tonight representing I'm sorry, I know they call it football, but we call it soccer, and representing these. Now, I want to promote now a young fellow, Alau Cool, and Alau had 14 appearances and 5 goals for Australia in the under-23 soccer team, the Olyroos. He earned them entry into the Shepparton Sports Hall of Fame's Junior Honour Roll, and he's inducted alongside his young brother Garang. Now, his brother will be inducted later on as at the Hall of Fame, in the Hall of Fame section. And it's been lovely to see that both of these boys had their soccer together in a lot of times. It was his arrival in the Goulburn Valley, such as a 12-year-old, that really saw Alau's skills flourish. He shuffled through the positions in the defensive end before finding his home up top and never looking back. He scored goals for fun, famously netting all 7 goals in an under-20 match in 2018. He won the Golden Boot Award in 2019 with 22 goals and catapulting him into the Central Coast Mariners ranks. Our first stint in the A-League led to a signing with the Stuttgart team and a loan deal with the Sandhausen in 2022, and then a spot in the Olyroos at 2022 in the AFC Under-23 Asian Cup. In the second game of the group stage, Alau scored a scorpion kick goal. I don't know what a scorpion kick goal is, but they might know. Earned him international fame as a nominee for the big award, given the most beautiful goal of the calendar year. Following a return to Stuttgart, Alau re-signed with the Mariners for the Championship, Premiership and AFC winning team in 2023-24 season, and has since signed with Western Sydney Wanderers. Alau is away playing soccer at the moment, and so we're not able to have him here tonight. As much I spoke to him on the phone and he would have certainly loved to come. But his mum, Antonita, is here, and we're going to ask Antonita if she'll come forward and represent both her sons, but we're going to ask her to talk about Alau tonight. Would you please welcome Antonita to come forward and meet the Mayor, and then we'll come up and have a chat to her. Antonita, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we'll look for your photo in the Shep News next week, but that's not the first time you've been in the paper, is it? I've seen your photo there before.
Yes.
Well, how do you feel, and I'll talk about both boys because you're their mum and you've seen them raised in soccer in Shepparton. Were you happy to come and live in Shepparton when the boys first started to play soccer?
No, we were coming to Shepparton from New South Wales looking for work. We didn't come to play soccer.
But that just happened, didn't it?
That happened,
Yes.
and because of the greatest of St. Brendan Primary School parent, even that time I couldn't drive yet in Australia. Well, but I was able to get parent to get my boys to soccer training, get my boys to be coach for them at the same time.
Right.
So we're very grateful to from St. Brendan Primary School all the way to representing Australia in the World Cup. We are very grateful. Unfortunately, they can't be here tonight because of the soccer commitment,
Yes.
and Grang is not living here. He's in Newcastle, England. So,
And Garang, of course, be playing overseas as well.
yes.
Yeah. You must be very proud of your boys that they've done this, and you must feel good that you've been able to give them the opportunity to do it.
I'm very proud and I'm very grateful for all the community in Shepparton, especially to mention a few names like Priestley brothers, Phil and Rob Priestley and their friends, and Lorna Gillespie, Chris Nunn, and Shepparton Ethnic Council, the great helping us when Allah come to Melbourne to play. They provide us with the bus to go and watch him, and a bit the shout out for Allah said to shout out for his some of his coaches, especially Greg Greg Carley, Brendan Gosri, I hardly say his last name, and Pat Kilty, and Thomas Giuliani. They are so grateful that they can't, forget their name in their future.
Well, we're going to ask one of Garang's mates to come up and talk when he gets the presentation, but we want you to give that to Alao when he comes to. Now, you put it on your wall because you were responsible for him, and let him say, well, there you are, Mum, that's what I've done after what you've done for me. And what a great success to think that this lady came from across the seas to settle in a place like Shepparton looking for work, and she was able to see her boys get into such a wonderful sport that's been able to get them going overseas and playing at top level in Australia. So without you being behind them and without you helping them, they wouldn't have done it, and I'm sure they'll be very, very pleased to see that you've got the certificate on the wall and that they recognise what Mum's done. Thank you for being here with your friends and family tonight. It's wonderful to see you, and we'll also have Garang's presentation a little bit later. So on behalf of Alao, would you please welcome and say thanks to his mum for being with us tonight. Thank you very much. We move now to the senior roll of honour, and tonight I'd like to honour a lady who has given or gave an unwavering commitment to Golden Valley netball. Val Barras commenced playing netball when she was called on by a teacher and asked if she would fill in for a netball team because they were short of players. The request saw the commencement of 50 years as a player, followed by 30 years as an administrator. Val quickly became a valuable player. She commenced playing with Shepparton Ramblers before moving on to Banks and finishing her netball playing days with old students. In 1952, Val won the Shepparton Basketball it was called basketball back in those days, remember, Basketball Best and Fairest Award, and was runner-up for the next 2 seasons. She also tried her luck at umpiring, a task she undertook until she was well into her 70s. Val received life membership of the Shepparton Basketball Association way back in 1958. Val was dedicated as an umpire. She studied the rule book and was up to date with the latest rule changes. She umpired games as well as playing, and following her playing days, she umpired well into her 70s. The up-and-coming umpire award of the association is now named the Val Barras Award. In 2001, Val received Victoria Netball Distinction Award. In 2002, she won the City of Greater Shepparton Sports Award, and after Val retired from umpiring, she decided she still wanted to be involved. So she took into her being the control box, and she was there at 8:30 every Saturday morning, operating until the last game. Val checked in the umpires, she timed the games and ensured that everything was running smoothly. It was a massive job, but Val relished the work. She also gave extra help to all the abilities players, which she loves. The Netball Association was so impressed with Val's work in control box that in 2018 they officially named the Val Barras Control Box. Val had seen it all and gave 80 years of service to the Shepparton Netball Association. She was sadly missed when she passed away earlier this year. The Greater City of Shepparton recognised Val by inducting her into the Sports Hall of Fame. I'd like to ask her nephew Ian Wright if he would come forward, but also Ian's dad Winston, Val's brother, if they would come forward to represent Val tonight to receive the Sports Hall of Fame Award. Thank you. I remember Winston Wright riding bikes at the Shepparton Velodrome and on the road. Welcome back, Winston. Good to see you. And Ian, I know Ian's going to say a few words, but if you'd like to be there with the Mayor and we'll get the photo taken. Okay, if you just stay here with Ian, and I want to talk. So, I mean, you've obviously seen your auntie over the years, and I guess netball's just been what she's done, isn't it?
Absolutely. So every Saturday morning she'd get in her little white car and take off to netball. And when I was a kid, I was one of those kids down there who she used to say, get off the courts on the bikes. Those people who've been to netball before would probably hear on the microphone down there. But yeah, everything she does was 110%. So.
And I guess you'd be pleased as a member of the family to see the way she's been received by the Netball Association, what they've called things after her and whatever. And she deserved every bit, didn't she?
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing. She's won lots of awards over the time. It's pretty incredible. 80 years. Anyone who does 80 years service anywhere is absolutely remarkable. So to have the control box named after her and the awards like this is awesome. And she's pretty humble, but she'd be definitely, like Tony said in the paper today, she'd definitely be looking down smiling tonight.
Yeah. It's just so sad she's not able to be here tonight. It wasn't long ago that she passed away, but everybody in netball just loved her. And I guess you'd be so proud of her too, Winston.
Exactly. Yep.
And she was proud of you riding the bike too, I remember. I mean, she used to be there barracking on for you.
That's right.
Yeah. So I know that you will be able to put that on the wall and think of your sister and your auntie over those years, and remember that Shepparton recognised what she did, and that's a great thing. Thanks for being with us, and we say well done, Val Barras. Thank you very much. Well done. Yep. No worries. Winston, good to see you. Right. Well, another lady that we want to honour tonight. The town of Murchison produced an all-round sports star who would become a household name in the Goulburn Valley in the sport of golf. Jan Tweddle from Murchison, who started to play golf as a sport on the family farm. She came under notice when she entered the Victorian Junior Golf Championships in 1965 as a 15-year-old, and she won the junior event as a 15-year-old from Murchison. And she found herself travelling to Perth as a member of the Victorian Junior Golf team. That began a sterling career that saw her win 7 Murchison Golf Club championships. Jan married local lad John Dunlop, who was a local footballer and sports star in his own right, and gave Jan plenty of support as well. And they set up their home in Murchison. I used to sell them milk. That began a sterling career that saw the 7 golf club championships. Hilltop at Tatura, though, became her major golf course because Murchison, of course, was only a winter course, and she played all the year round at Hilltop at Tatura. And she won the championship ladies at Hilltop for 23 consecutive years, if you don't mind. She could hit a golf ball. She became dedicated to golf and was selected in the Goulburn Valley team for 26 years. Any wonder we're recognising her tonight. One of the most satisfying team wins was when she spearheaded the Goulburn Valley's first successful assault on the coveted Alice Coltman Cup, a great prize in ladies golf, and she was the top golfer. Her skills netted her 10 GV singles titles, along with several mixed and women's foursome championships. In 1972, Jan upstaged the cream of the Victorian women's golf to win the Victorian Women Champion of Champions title at Keysborough Golf Club. Can you imagine all those women golfers in Melbourne looking at this country hick who's come down from Murchison, and she's got onto the course and streaked them. It was just a wonderful result. In 1973, Jan was named as the Goulburn Valley Sports Star of the Year. She held many course records and won many district championships. At one stage, she held every course record at every major course in the Goulburn Valley. That's a true Goulburn Valley golfer. Jan's sporting achievements were not limited to golf. In tennis, she won the Goulburn Valley Under-18 Singles Championships. Of an evening, Jan continued her successful sporting career, being selected to represent Goulburn Valley in badminton. Outside of sport, Jan was always busy helping local organisations, and she became a councillor in the Waranga Shire. She was awarded the Citizen of the Year at Murchison. Murchison lost a wonderful citizen when Jan passed away early in 2023, but the City of Greater Shepparton salutes Jan Dunlop, whose name will long be remembered in the sporting life of the Goulburn Valley, and particularly in golf. Jan Dunlop is now a member of the Sports Hall of Fame, and we would ask her son Craig if he would come forward to receive the presentation on behalf of his late mum. Could you welcome Craig to the stage, please? Craig, thanks for coming, and members of your family here tonight. Can I say that when I sold your family milk when I was working at Duckett's, I always knew there was a cup of coffee on at the Dunlop's house, and many times I would just sit there and listen to Jan talk about golf, the sport that she loved, because you people had it all your life, didn't you?
Yeah, we had it all our life, and I think Mum enjoyed golf more than actually looking after us. She enjoyed her country week golf, going out with the ladies down to Melbourne and leaving us with Dad to cook tea and do all those chores, and it wasn't pleasant. but you know, she was great. She was very supportive of all of us, and she was very dogged in her ways of making sure that she won stuff.
Yeah. And of course, she received great support from your dad because he was involved with the footy club and he became president of the Kyabram District Football League and all those sort of things. So it was just a sporting family all through.
Yeah, Mum and Dad were pretty good. Yeah. Unfortunately, the apple didn't fall too far from the tree, did it? We're still learning golf after 40 odd years. But yeah, Mum and Dad, they were pretty entwined in the community of all the sport in Murchison and the area.
Yeah.
So it was great.
And what's happened to all their trophies? Are you still got them about?
That's a good question. I think we've split them between my brother and sister, and I'm not real sure where they all are.
No, and I think a lot of people who win a lot of trophies, that's the biggest problem, trying to keep them in the good spot. But as her son and with your brother and sister, you must get together and be so proud of what Mum achieved over so many years.
Yeah, it's an amazing effort what she did over the last 40 odd years when she was playing golf, and she, as you said, she did start young. And I remember there is a story when she won her first Murchison championships. Her father told her that she had to go to school, and she didn't want to go to school, and she took a sickie and won the championship. So she's pretty dedicated to her golf, and we remember her at home and putting on the carpet, as just practicing in a cup like you do. And she was a pretty strong putter and very determined.
Well, now you've got something to hang on the wall and say, good on you, Mum, well done, and be a proud member of the Dunlop family, and remember the greatest woman golfer in the Goulburn Valley, and thanks for being with us tonight. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you very much. As I said earlier, we had some trouble getting soccer people involved, and thankfully we've now got a number of them and to go into the Hall of Fame. And I want to talk about Mimo Leah, who was a well-known sportsman in the Goulburn Valley, who played both AFL and soccer at the highest level. And Mimo was a wonderful sportsman. I had him in the Goulburn Valley schoolboys football team when you were 15 or 16, Mimo, and he was wonderful to take to Melbourne as a great member. He played footy with the Lemnos Footy Club, that's now called the Shepparton Swans, but on a Sunday played soccer. There came a time when the Goulburn Valley decided they'd play football finals on a Sunday. Mimo was in trouble. He had to think whether he was going to play football or soccer. He chose to play football on Saturday, and he played on the Saturday with Lemnos, and the next day played with Tatura in soccer in the soccer final. And that's what Lemnos, and Bill Hunter, the former mayor of Shepparton and president of Lemnos Footy Club, he got up and say it was right and proper for him to select to play his soccer on Sunday. And so Mimo, of course, played so many years with Tatura. He was a legend in soccer, and to think that his son followed him on, and after seeing his dad playing in all those years of soccer, his son reached the highest level. And the Sports Hall of Fame welcomes Mimo's son Vince, who rose to international standard as a junior soccer star and has been an Australian A-League player for many years. Vince commenced playing junior soccer at Tatura, as I mentioned. He showed great skill as a junior and was soon selected in representative teams. He was chosen to play in the Victoria in Sydney for both the under-13 and under-14 national championships, and he was soon enticed to Melbourne and played with National Youth League. At 16, he signed a senior contract with South Melbourne, making his debut in 2001. Vince was the first-class junior and his skill saw him selected to represent his country in the FIFA Under-20 World Championships, a World Cup in 2003 in the UAE and also in 2005 in the Netherlands. He had become an international player and greatly enjoyed his experience. Soccer changed in Australia with the formation of the A-League, and Vince played with Melbourne Victory. With the entry of New Zealand team into the league, the Kiwis were looking for prospective players to bolster their ranks and made Vince an offer he couldn't refuse. Off he went to New Zealand. He shifted to New Zealand, became a star player with Wellington Phoenix, where he made a name for himself playing 200 games in 7 years. Following his New Zealand experience, he was recruited to play 3 seasons with Adelaide United, but the COVID pandemic saw a cessation of play and he finally concluded in A-League involvement with Perth Glory. Following his first-class career, he joined Altona for 2 seasons and then went to Essendon Royals, where at 40 years of age, he still takes the field, weekend to keep fit. He's proved to be one of the best performed soccer players from Shepparton, and we welcome Vince Leah into the Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you, Vince, if you'd come forward. Well, Vince, sorry to get your father up like that, but without your dad playing soccer, I guess you wouldn't have been as keen.
No, exactly right. I feel like he should be up here alongside me. Yeah, you're dead right. Heavily involved with Tatura Soccer Club growing up, and that's how I started.
So when you were with Tatura, did you ever feel that you had this opportunity to play internationally in the sport?
No, not at all. Not when you start. You play for fun. You're there because I guess I was there every Sunday anyway. So
yeah, so you might as well play.
Might as well play.
Yeah.
Shin pads on all day, and you played 3 or 4 games, and it's not probably till you start making representative sides that you know that could be a career.
So then you're playing internationally. How did that make you feel as a soccer player? Did that make you want to go on and do more things?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the ultimate goal is to play for the national team at senior level and have a career in Europe. I wasn't fortunate enough to be able to do those 2 things, but I did represent Australia at youth level at 2 Under-20 World Cups and had a senior career in the A-League, so extremely honoured.
How many games of A-League football did you play?
260.
260 odd over a long time, and of course with a number of teams. So you've obviously enjoyed moving around a bit and having different clubs.
Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of sport. But the beauty of football is you get to travel the world, but see different places and experience different cities. Lucky enough to live in New Zealand and Adelaide and Perth.
Yeah.
It's a great life while it lasts.
So you're still having a kick?
Yeah, I am. It was mentioned before that your mum didn't want to look after you guys, so she continued to play golf, and it's a little bit similar. I'm still playing, so I get home and the kids are in bed. So it's good fun.
Well, that's one good reason to play. So how long do you think you're going to play the game? Competitively?
Probably another 4 weeks.
Oh, right. Okay. So
I don't know, either another year or another 4 weeks.
Okay, but you could be finishing your career pretty soon.
Yeah.
Well, you must.
Every day's a different answer.
You must look back now. Would you want your family to do the same sort of thing as you?
Oh, look, it would be nice, but as long as the kids are happy, I don't mind.
Yeah.
I've started taking my 4-year-old daughter to soccer now.
Right.
She hates it. So I don't know.
Well, you never know what you started, Mimo, but you must be so proud of your son, the way that he's done, and now goes down as one of Shepparton's greatest soccer players, and we're delighted to have him in the Sports Hall of Fame. Thanks very much, Vince. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, just between the presentations, I want to talk about a star who is here tonight, a sports star by the name of Brett Lancaster. Brett became known worldwide due to his feats as a cyclist, Olympic Games, world titles, and on the grand European cycling scene. He brought honour to Shepparton as he powered his way on his bike to win Olympic gold and stage of the world's greatest cycling event, the Tour de France. Brett commenced cycling with the Shepparton Cycle Club at the age of 14. He's now president of the cycle club. He was under notice as a junior, and then he moved into senior ranks, ready to take on the world. Brett made Commonwealth Games selection and won a gold medal in the team's pursuit in 1998 in Kuala Lumpur, along with the team's pursuit title at the 1998 World Cycling Titles. The Australian Olympic selectors recognised his ability, and Brett became a member of the Olympic cycling team for the Sydney Olympics. He represented Australia at 3 Olympic Games, Sydney in 2000, Athens in 2004 and Beijing in 2008. His Olympic gold medal was won in Athens when he was a member of the Australian winning team, capturing the team's pursuit gold medal in record time. He competed at world level and was successful in the World Championship in the team's pursuit at the 2002 Championships in world record time, and also won the 2003 World Track Championships. He competed 6 times in the Tour de France, winning the team time trial in 2013. He spent many years based in Europe as a professional cyclist. As well as his Tour de France appearances, he competed 9 times in the Giro d'Italia, winning the team time trial in 2014 and 15, and he wore the pink jersey as leader of the Giro after winning the prologue in 2005. He also won stage 2 of the Tour of California. His performance was recognised by the Australian government, and he was presented with an Order of Australia medal in 2005. He retired from racing in 2005, but what did he do? He took on a job in sport, in cycling, as the sports director with the powerful international cycling team, Team Sky, leading the team for 7 years. He decided to return to his hometown, Shepparton, and he told me he wanted his kids to grow up where he grew up in Shepparton, so he returned to Shepparton and has since purchased Leading Edge Cycles outlet in Edward Street, Shepparton, and is beautifully running that bike shop. And I just think we are so lucky to have Brett back in Shepparton. And as I said, he's president of the bike club, and enthusiasts throughout the Goulburn Valley can be so proud of this local boy who dedicated himself to his chosen sport. In a world that was successful, Brett Lancaster has become our best performed international athlete. He'll always be regarded as a Shepparton champion on the world stage. Brett was inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame in 2017, so he's already in the Sports Hall of Fame. But the time of his induction, where do you think he was? At the Tour de France, and he was working at the Tour de France at that time. But his mum came up and received the plaque on his behalf. Now he's back in Shepparton. So the committee tonight would like to present our best performing sports person, and we would ask Brett to come forward and receive once again the same as what your mother received, but we're going to ask the Mayor to present you again with your, officially, because it couldn't be done last time. Would you welcome Brett Lancaster to come forward? Brett, it's fantastic that you can be here, and I might say that you gave me one of my biggest thrills in sport, because my wife and I were on our way for a European trip, and we happened to be a week before the Tour de France was finishing in Paris. So we saw you ride into Paris with the Tour team. To think that there was a Shepparton guy that we saw riding around the velodrome and around the roads, and here he was, the top of world sport. So I just think it's been wonderful for us to be able to see you, and a lot of late nights while you've been in the Tour de France have been by cycling enthusiasts. You must look back at it now and say, how did it all happen?
Yeah, actually, you're right. I think now's a really good time to reflect on it. I didn't really think about it. We only moved home with my wife and kids end of 2022, so it hasn't even been 3 years home. And I was involved as a sports director. I was still at the Tour de France, I was calling the shots, I was in the car, like really involved with the best athletes in the world still. And I was just on that roller coaster ride still. And you don't really think too much at that time about what you've achieved, what you've done. And only coming home now and seeing all my old medals and even having the gold medal here in Shepparton the whole time, getting that back out and showing people, it's really sort of hit home of what I've done, So yeah, sort of like I said, just in that mode, and yeah, it's been humbling. It's been nice to come back and reflect on it, and tonight to come here and accept this in person. Let me tell you, my mother rang me up when I was in Europe, and she was so nervous to pick this award up.
She was nervous coming up, yes, she was.
That's all right, Mum. Yeah. So yeah, it's an honour to be here and pick this up tonight in person.
There must be a few people that you'd like to say thank you to on the way through.
Yeah. Actually, Shane just touched on it before, and it's very important, The biggest one is my wife, who's sitting there tonight, Ali. Yeah. You wouldn't want to date a cyclist or a professional athlete, I'll tell you. So Ali, I started travelling in '97. Ali joined me in 22. We packed our bags. I hadn't done the road scene before. They're all unknown. Took our suitcase off. We went to Belgium. Rented a house, didn't have much money, and I had to make it work, and I did. So she's been there through all the blood, sweat, tears, the hospitals, the times that you don't see, all that hard work. And she was my psychologist too, because it's totally a tough sport. It's one of the most grueling sports in the world, and to have her by my side. And I think everyone here tonight can thank her for us being back in Shepparton. I was pretty happy over in Spain, had a great job directing, and she said the container ship will be there in March. You either have your stuff in it or not, you're staying in Europe the rest of your life. So.
Well, thanks to Ali that he's here with us, so well done, Ali. I guess you look back now and it's probably all gone pretty quick, but you're back home and now you've purchased the bike shop and it's a beautiful, clean condition and looks great, and I suppose you'll be looking forward to settling down a little bit. And you've got a son that's doing well with cycling too.
Yeah, it's been a massive life change, to be honest, from jet setting and travelling around the world weekly to coming home at night. Every night to my family, that's nice. I mean, I was an absent father for a lot, let's be honest here, and they supported me, like I said before, and it's nice to come home, and we've got a dog, all those things we never got to have, and take him for a walk at night, and just the simple things in life. And we're really enjoying Shepparton, to be honest, and it's nice to see old faces and get around the cycling club again and try and grow that club. It needs a bit of work, but we're getting there. And yeah, Luca, quite successful cyclist. He was up in Brisbane last year and he was third at the national championships in the individual pursuit, like what I did. But Luke's just having a bit of a break from the sport at the moment, to be honest.
I want to just go back to the big race. And you're riding in a peloton with, 150 guys. How do you try and keep out of trouble? I mean, you're riding so close and so fast. You had a few stacks?
Yeah, if I took these clothes off, which you wouldn't want to see, but yeah, there's bits of metal in me still, and it's a brutal sport. And at a normal race that's in France racing and another race or Belgium, you have a crash. Normally you go home if the injury's pretty bad, but something about like the Tour de France or the Giro d'Italia, you get back on and you try and finish, and I've finished stages of the Tour of Italy and done x-rays after my hand's been broken, so I could feel the pain, I could feel the bone moving, but you just push through it and you try and finish, It's a crazy sport, and they're warriors out there, and it's hard to explain to the normal person the amount of fatigue you get, physically and mentally.
Shepparton is so pleased to have you back, and I hope that they come into your bike shop and buy plenty of bikes. But to know that you're back in the area and you're prepared to be in the cycle club and support the local cycling team, and that we can look at it and say, Brett Lancaster was our boy and he did brilliantly. And for you to come here tonight, the committee was just delighted to be able to invite you to come, and thank you for coming, and Ali and the family with you. And we certainly hope that all goes well for you in the future. And would you please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome our best ever performed overseas athlete, Brett Lancaster. Thanks, pal. Thanks very much. How good to have Brett here. Now we move into the Hall of Fame itself, which the category is a little bit different than the ones before, but we're going to move to a new sport that has never been before in the Hall of Fame. we see the sport represented with the induction of international show jumping and Olympic representative Jeff Bloomfield. Jeff grew up in the Goulburn Valley, and his love for riding horses commenced with the Rochester Pony Club. The sport became a passion for him, and he was dedicated himself to progress into the top class show jumping, and he also began breaking in horses at his homebred horse Prairie Moon. He competed at country shows and competitions around Australia and reached a high standard that put him into world-class events representing Australia. His success saw him turn professional in 1985. In 1988 he represented Australia in the Trans-Tasman Series in New Zealand. Jeff then travelled extensively around the world competing at the highest level. In 1992 he competed in the World Cup final in California on the horse Johnny Be Good. 1996 he rode the horse T-Rex in Gothenburg, Germany. He trained the lovely French imported stallion Ideal de Valletta, I hope I said that right, Jeff, and took to Europe as a young Grand Prix horse. Jeff also managed properties around Australia, including 10 years in Shepparton, and that made him eligible to be here with us tonight in the Sports Hall of Fame. 1988 was a big year for Jeff when riding the horse High Vane returned to New Zealand for the World Cup and then travelled to Rome for the World Equestrian Games. At this competition was a prelude to the great highlight of his life when he became an Olympian and had the honour of riding in his own country at the Sydney Olympics in 2000, riding the horse Money Talks. His final show jumping event representing Australia was in 2002 in Spain when he competed the riding Eloise in the World Championships. He was recognised in the sport when presented with the Silver World Cup Whip Trophy for 100 World Cup wins, or 100 World Cup rides. It's been a wonderful career for the former Shepparton resident who showed what dedication is needed for an athlete to represent his country in international competition around the world. His daughter Jenna has followed her father into show jumping as well. Sports Hall of Fame Committee salutes Jeff Bloomfield. Shepparton salutes Jeff Bloomfield and welcomes him into the City of Greater Shepparton Sports Hall of Fame. Jeff, would you come forward, please? Jeff, I used to go to the Shepparton show and sit up in the grandstand and watch the Saturday nights, and you were riding there, and the name Bloomfield has sort of gone on and on. Did you ever realise when you started that you'd be finishing up as an international rider?
I always wanted to.
You wanted to?
Wanted to, yeah, but no, not then.
Not when you were riding at the Rochester Pony Club?
No, that's right. No, it was, I did my trade. I was a late start. I didn't really get into the sport, as a professional until I was 28. I'd done a trade bit hard work, dedication.
And of course, when you look at that sport of show jumping, so much relies on the horse. So you also must have been a man that's been able to pick out the horses that could do the job for you.
Oh yeah, like you'd go nowhere without the horse. It's the saying is you're only as good as what you're sitting on.
Yeah.
I've been very lucky. I've had some really quality horses. You spend most of your time training these horses to get to that level. Back in the day, you had to make the horses yourself. Nowadays, it's quite a rich man's sport, and most of the horses are purchased from overseas and brought into the country. But yeah, back in the day, it was hard work.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because it must be hard for people to get into a sport now if you haven't got the money behind you. I mean, the massive caravans and horse floats and things that they drive all around with, it's very expensive to be involved.
Oh, it is for sure, yeah.
So you wouldn't like to go through it again?
No, unless I had a decent sponsor, but it's possible nowadays.
All right. So you were representing Australia overseas, but I know when we talked on the phone, I know you said to me how different it was when you became an Olympian, because all of a sudden you were in an Olympic uniform. People recognised you where they didn't do that when you were travelling overseas. So did you enjoy being an Olympian?
Oh, for sure. It was a fantastic time. When you go to a horse show, it's the same faces, the same horses. when you go to the Olympic Village, when you're with athletes from all over the world, it's a totally different scenario.
And you really enjoyed that?
Oh, fantastic, yeah.
So when you look back on your career, what do you think was your best achievement?
Oh, Sydney Olympics for sure.
Yeah.
Look, the World Cup finals and the World Equestrian Games were all special events too.
Yeah.
I won the pre-final in Helsingborg, Sweden. That was the week before the World Cup final in Gothenburg. That was for non-European competitors, and I actually won it and had the national anthem played for you.
Yeah.
It just stands the hair.
That made you feel good?
Oh, it does. It
Yeah.
stands the hair up my back here.
So you look back on your career, and it must be tremendous to think how many times you've been in various parts of the world, but been able to do what you love.
For sure, yeah, and great memories. Like there's so many stories that I can remember from different places around the world. Not so much for the horses, but situations you get yourself into, and you've got to work it out. You're travelling around the world with a horse and a suitcase. You get in some sticky situations.
Yeah. Well, the committee was delighted when we realised you had been in Shepparton long enough to become a part of the Hall of Fame, and to think that we saw you for so many years and saw you in the Olympic Games and realised that you were one of our own people here, and look back and see the wonderful performances you did overseas, and particularly all around Australia and at the Shepparton show. And so I'm sure you're delighted to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, very honoured. Yeah, it's a special event. You think you're finished in your career, and something like this pops up. So yeah, very honoured for it. And thank you very much for the Hall of Fame of Shepparton.
So to recognise Jeff Bloomfield, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, if you give him a award. Thanks very much, Jeff. Now, earlier on we had Al Cool representing junior soccer. Now we've got his brother who represents senior soccer, and it's Garang Cool. After arriving in Australia in 2005, including arriving in Shepparton shortly after, Garang Cool's journey from the grassroots of Shepparton Junior Soccer to the biggest stage has earned him entry into the Greater Shepparton Sports Hall of Fame. Garang Cool commenced his soccer life with Shepparton Soccer Club in 2012 and came under notice as a member of the 2013 Under-12 Premiership team at just 8 years of age. That was the beginning of an exciting sporting life for Garang, who would reach the highest echelons of the game. He played the first game for the Goulburn Valley Suns in 2015. He was selected to represent School Sport Victoria at under-12 level. By 2017, he represented Country Victoria at the National Championships. In 2019, his meteoric rise was looming close on the horizon as he took out the GV Suns Best and Fairest Player Award and was coming under the eye of the National Talent Scouts. By 2021, he was being approached by clubs, and he joined the Central Coast Mariners Academy in January before making his senior debut at the Australian Cup in a match in December. By 2022, he was one of the stars of the A-League's All-Stars against Barcelona. He also signed with the English Premier League team Newcastle United in October that year. The signing really made the Australian soccer officials take an extra look at his form, and soon transpired that he was selected to play international soccer by joining the Australian Socceroos squad for 2022 World Cup in Qatar. But Garang wasn't just there to carry the drinks. At the time, the youngest Socceroo since Harry Cool in 1996, Garang, at 18 years and 79 days, became the youngest player to take the pitch in the World Cup knockout match since Pelé in 1958. So when he became agonisingly close to snatching the equaliser in the dying moments against the eventual champions Argentina. The live watch party in the bleary hours of the Shepparton morning at Victoria Park Lake Rising, with his shot and falling as one, was desperately powered away by Emilio Martinez. But there was Garang, our own Shepparton boy, in there with the best of them. In all, Socceroo number 627 has 5 appearances and 1 goal at the highest level, but at just 20 years of age and still on Newcastle United's books, he still has a way to go and has plenty of time to add to those figures. Now, his mum Antonita, of course, as we saw earlier on, very proud of Garang as well as Alu. But I'm going to ask his mate, Daniel Mapinda, if he would come forward on behalf of your mate to receive it. Would you welcome Daniel to, on behalf of his friend Garang Pool, to come forward and receive the plaque? Daniel, look, it's great to have you here. You must feel really good about the fact that you've been able to come here and represent Garang, and I'm sure he'd love to be here too.
Yeah, no, it's an honour to receive this reward for Garang. I've known him since we were 5, kicking the ball at St Brendan's. But yeah, deeply honoured.
Have you played a bit of soccer with him?
Yeah, in the under 6s at St Brendan's and then at Goulburn Valley for a bit.
Right. So you could probably let us into a few secrets. Do you think he's as good as he's made out?
Yeah, nah, he is up there. I think Tutu's a bit better. Just over there. But nah, yeah, he's really good. Quick, technical. Yeah. All you need to be a footballer, really.
Now you've got a mate sitting up there next to you. Can you tell us who he is, because he's a champion soccer player too, isn't he?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Tutu Taya.
Right, and he's been pictured in the paper, and we've seen all about him. Do you think he's got a good future?
He does if he works hard.
If he works hard. Now, I guess you've spoken to Antonita about this, but she's obviously a very proud lady, and you're representing her son, who is off playing soccer at the moment, of course, and can't be here. Yeah. But I guess you're very proud to do that.
Yeah, I am very proud. Yeah, just like on behalf of the community, it's an honour to have someone like Garang Kuol from Shepparton go to the world stage and show that he can, and not just him, but anyone can do it, really. Yeah, so it's just really just shows what you can do if you put your mind to it.
Would you please thank a lad for helping his mate out tonight? Thank you very much indeed. Well done. So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the official presentations tonight. I just want to say, Mr Mayor, you said earlier on about the council staff who are working behind us in this committee. They do a wonderful job, and I want to say thank you to the council for continuing to support this event. And you know how important it is for Shepparton people. You've been involved yourself. And I just want to say a big thank you to Councillor Brophy for the way that he has chaired this committee, and I hope that you have enjoyed tonight. And I would ask Councillor Brophy to close the proceedings. Would you welcome Councillor Brophy back? Thank you. Sorry, Brody.
Thank you, Don. Before we wrap up tonight's celebration, I'd like just to take a moment to acknowledge the dedicated members of the Greater Shepparton Sports Hall of Fame Advisory Committee. Don Kilgour, I'll come back to Don in a moment. Dennis Myers, thank you very much, Dennis. Margot Costolana, who's been sitting there giving out the trophies throughout the night and the certificates. Thank you very much, Margot. Megan Carr, who is our representative from Valley Sport. She's our representative from there. Megan, whereabouts are you? Yes. And you've got a new role coming up, is that right? Can I say that? Yes. So Megan will become very shortly the president of the Shepparton Golf Club, the first female in 100 years. So congratulations, Megan. That's wonderful. Peter Skeeter Holland, thank you very much, Skeet, for everything that you do. Tanya Phillips, thank you, Tanya, and Tyler Marr. It's a terrific committee. I'm very proud to chair, but also be very much part of. It's been a privilege to work alongside such very passionate individuals. But it also extends to the council staff too, and people like Renee Scott. Thank you, Renee. Daniel, where are you, Daniel? Down the back there, looking after proceedings. Thank you. And Ethan, whereabouts are you, Ethan? You're behind you. There's a hand that comes out from behind the behind the awning there. So thank you very much. What great dedicated staff we have at council that support this particular committee. Now, a very special thank you goes to Don Kilgour, OAM. Don's extraordinary effort in preparing the inductees' profiles has brought each story to life, as he has and probably 85 different occasions over the journey. He is illuminating the passion and the perseverance that define our sporting heritage. Don, on behalf of the committee and the council, we'd like to you'd offer you a small gift in appreciation of your tireless work and ongoing dedication. Thank you, Don.
I don't think people realise actually how much effort he puts into getting these stories. He needs a massive round of applause. That is a huge effort to do that.
Thanks, Val.
I feel like I should interview him as well. Don, where did it all start? Tell us about your parents taking you off to the sports. So thank you, Don. We'd also like to certainly express, and it has been mentioned before, the thanks of the team of Elsewhere at Sam. Excellent catering again. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you, Jono. And I haven't seen Elena, but I'm sure they're there. But also the rest of the staff, thank you very much. We will now move into the dessert service, and I'd like to invite you all to stay, to mingle, continue celebrating the incredible achievements of our 2025 inductees. And for those that have been recipients of that, if you'd like to please come up and we'll get a group photograph as well, just at the conclusion of that. Please enjoy the rest of the night, and again, thank you all very much for coming along. Thank you.